The only difference in it, Reem probably just wasn't on the best end of the wave, and I was lucky enough to be in the right position, and I came through with the win.
Now for the men's surf ski final here at Manly Beach, and once again, Darren, class galore in this field. There's some really big names throughout there, including the reigning Australian champion, Stephen Meredith from Mooloolaba, lines up along with 13 other competitors. In the starters' hands, they are away.
Certainly are, and you'll see a great start here. They're always fast to watch the open competitors. Tony Shoemaker, who's been a regular up in Queensland competing at the state titles and the Maroochydore Carnival, tries to get up whenever he can to get as much competition as he possibly can, and he'll be one to watch out for. Nick Holt, who got a third at the Australian titles this year, he'll be one to watch out for as well, so we'll just have to see how they go through the break here.
Brett Tyack, Jonathan Crowe, Nathan Meyer, some familiar names around Ironman circles in Australia, and of course, as I mentioned, Stephen Meredith from Mooloolaba in pretty scintillating form on a surf ski at the moment.
He certainly is.
Had his head down and been concentrating, obviously, with plenty of training up there on the Sunshine Coast. Now they go towards a bit of Indian file, as you'd expect, charging way out here at Manly Beach in an instant. Gives you an idea of the power of these guys. Now they're turning around the cans, and it's all head back in time.
You can see that was Tony Shoemaker definitely out in front there. It's quite easy to pick some of these competitors out with the different coloured skis, and that was Tony Shoemaker in front. There he is there, a big frame man, a policeman in the Sutherland Shire, so he's definitely not one to mess with.
Don't mess around with him around the cans, and in this kind of race, well, they've gone around 3 or 4 wide around those cans, but there is lots of room for plenty of paddles in the chest and all sorts of stuff going on.
It certainly is. If you get pinned around there, you've got to go around with the flow and hope for the best, but Tony's made the most of it. He's got away clean, and he's showing his strength as a ski paddler.
From the Allura Club in Sydney, Tony Shoemaker. Now you've got Steve Dalton from Glenelg down in South Australia doing his work, getting a few little runners as well. Look out for Stephen Meredith. Stephen Meredith, wow, if you've seen the Australian Surf Life-Saving titles, you would have seen him mow down the very best in the world in Clint Robinson. He's up to it again, folks. Stephen Meredith is flying. He comes alongside Tony Shoemaker, who's done all the hard work. Meredith from Mooloolaba, flying. He's got the white rash vest on, and he's done it. Stephen Meredith goes the double. The Australian Championship, now the World Interclub Championship as well. He held onto his paddle this time up at Curra, where he let it go. Signals to the boys and the guys on the beach and says, I've done it. That is form at its best. You go into this, you would have had him favourite on form alone, and he's lived up to it this time. Stephen Meredith, and he celebrates a gold medal. The men's surf ski race, Meredith 1, Shoemaker 2, Steve Dalton, the South Australian, gets the bronze.
Yeah, it is good. I came here this weekend. I thought I was pretty wrapped with the Nationals. I thought it's going to be pretty hard to emulate, beating clean across the line. But yeah, I'm wrapped with this. I couldn't be happier.
Now let's check some other results for you. The women's surf race won by Kate McClellan from Cronulla, Amanda White from Terrigal second, and Gladstone from Maroubra third. The men's board race, Daniel Shade from Avoca first, Leon Hay and Matt Lemon filling the placings. And the women's surf ski race, Katie Pocock from New Zealand, the champion there from Jasmine Kelly and Natalie Rayner. Stick around, this is Rescue 2000. After this, the IRB and the surf boats hit the water. Welcome back to Rescue 2000. Now we're getting ready for the warriors of the water. The surf boats are about to do their business. And this is how they'll line up in the women's boat final. Newport, Mooloolaba, Pacific Palm, Sunshine Beach, Bilgola and Avoca Beach as well. And let's take a look at the conditions out there, because they're pretty flat, so don't expect too many thrills and spills along the water. Here we go, tracking along now, and look at that, Darren Mercer, pretty flat, pretty still. It means two things. It's going to be a lot of hard work because you're going to get no assistance, but also it means that there won't be too many dramas on the way back.
That's right. I mean, they're obviously going to get out through the break here. Well, there's no break, but they're going to get out clean. It'll be a long, hard slog all the way out to the cans and then all the way back as well. So it'll just be the one that's done all the work during the season, done all that training. Technique is a major part of boat rowing now. It used to be just jump in and away you go. But now, as you can see, these girls here really stretching it out, the timing's crucial. They've got their oars going in and out at the same time. The sweep will just be talking them through it because they can't see where they're going, obviously. There's the Mooloolaba crew there on the top side, the Newport crew in the yellow boat there, and they're really stretching out now.
So closest to us is the Newport boat. Then we've got Mooloolaba. Then in lane 3, it's Pacific Palm, Sunshine Beach, Bilgola and Avoca Beach. As we take a look at the leading pack at the moment, Mooloolaba, swept by Joe Weston. They make their turn. Newport looked as though they were first to turn as well. Over in lane 5, Bilgola trying to make up some catch-up time. Avoca Beach furthest away from us. But right now, it looks as though Newport have the advantage. It's only a slender one. Take a look from the other side. So furthest from screen, that's Newport. Then you've got Mooloolaba, Pacific Palm, Sunshine Beach, Bilgola and Avoca Beach as well. All in order, coming into the wave zone now, trying to get the run. Michael King, the sweep for Newport, shouting at the girls, keep it going, you get over this, and you've got yourself a free ride.
No, they've just dropped off the back of that, and there's nothing worse than that. That goes into dead water there, and the crew's got to get it back on again and really put the strokes in. So they've worked behind that wave. They've got the boat back onto race speed again, and they're hoping to get across the line, and here they go.
Well, that was straight into the line. Must have felt like they were paddling in quicksand for a few seconds there, but Newport have done it. They had a pretty good battle with Mooloolaba on the way out, but it was a battle with themselves on the way in. The girls are very happy. The women's surf boat race, 1, 2 and 3 looks like this. Newport win it. Avoca Beach from New South Wales second, and the Queensland team, Mooloolaba, finished third. But this one belongs to Newport and their sweep, Michael King.
Oh, it's good to win a surf boat race anywhere. Always good to win a final. Yeah, very pleasing. Got a great way to finish the season. We girls had a very good year. Won state championships for the 3rd year in a row. We're very disappointed at the Australians, but that's surf boats, and so it was a very pleasing way to finish the season. Yeah.
And that's exactly what the men will be looking to do in the men's surf boat final here. Look out for some top-class crews here, especially Darren Mercer, given that the Australian titles were just a week or so ago. So a few rivalries to settle the score here as well. Our 6 final competitors are in the boats and getting underway.
There they go, that's the North Narrabeen crew. They're away, the Kurrawa crew right there. They've been rowing fantastically all year. I mean, they're a great crew that work together well and not a bad bunch of blokes either.
You talked about technique in the women's race, in the men's race. There's also a lot of power. The surf boaties, they've got all sorts of reputations, haven't they? But they'll certainly be operating on technique, especially in these flat conditions. Yeah,
they've certainly got some power in the boat, and you can see there that's the Kurrawa crew on your screen. There's the Bulli crew there, swept by Robbie Meyer. He's been around for a long time, and he's got some great rowers in that one there. That's from the south coast of Wollongong, that club.
So they've made their turn out in nice clear water out the back there too. Nothing to trouble them around those cans. And Bulli go around in a nice position as well. Well, look at that. The 6, there's not much between any of them.
No, it's fairly even, as you can see that the conditions here are fairly flat. So they're basically going to work on their technique here and really power. And they can feel they're on a bit of a run there. Kurrawa looking really good, nice and smooth, and they won't ease off until they hit the shore.
And 2 of the Queensland teams really making the moves. Kurrawa and Coolum leading them out at the moment. North Narrabeen are still in with a hunt. And look at that, Drew Griffiths from Kurrawa shouting down to the guys. Keep it moving again. It's exactly the same as what the women had. You keep moving, you get the hard work, and you get across the line first. Whoa, there wasn't much in it, but Kurrawa have done it. And they know it too. That's all they needed to know, across the line first, and they are gold medalists at the World Championships. So Kurrawa from Queensland get it first. Second, Coolum and North Narrabeen from New South Wales finished third. They collect the bronze. But when you're talking about teamwork, talk about Kurrawa. This team, very experienced, and they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, we do work very hard, and it's we do train every day. The boys are very fit, and they're terrific athletes, and they're just a champion boat crew. They just deserve everything they get.
All right, let's get from the old to the new. The IRB Teams event, 8 competitors: Gunnamatta, Williamstown, Avalon, Ballina, Boat Harbour Beach, Taraji, Cabes Beach and Cape Hawke. All Australian final, and this is how they'll do it. They'll have to go out. There is already a patient in the water. They'll unload another one. Then they'll come back, do a tag team, go back out, get the 2 patients in the water and collect them, bring them back in. Already a little bit of a stumble there.
A little bit of a stumble, but it won't take them long to regather with these. These guys really, really know how to get out and rescue people, and these are the quickest craft in the life-saving movement at the moment.
A little bit choppy too. You can see the wind's picked up quite considerably as well. So Darren mentioned they're fast and furious, these kind of things, but in all sorts of chop, they can bounce around a fair bit. Now remember, there's 5 members in each team. So they'll unload one there. You see them dive out of the side of the boat, and they'll sit next to their buddy already into the water. The driver brings back the IRB all on his Pat Malone, and when he gets there, he'll have to run up and do a bit of a tag team.
Definitely hard to drive these on their own without the crewman in the front. As he pulls over that wave there, this is the Gunnermanner crew from Victoria.
That's lane 1 and Matt Kolka, the driver. So now he cuts the engine. The other crew guy will stabilise the IRB. Now, Kolka flies up the beach. This is the deal. Tag teams the other driver, who then makes it back down towards the boat. Has to jump in. The boat's been stabilised, as I said. Tries to get that engine going, and the other crew's coming up. Lane 2, Williamstown. They make their change. So lane 1 was going to matter. They're already back in, but it looks as though he couldn't get that boat going. So the other competitors out in the middle of the field, they've made theirs. Caves Beach and Cape Hawke seem to have made their moves up towards the right-hand side of screen. So the other guys have got a bit of a break. I don't know what happened with Gunnermanner there, Darren. It looked as though they couldn't get that engine going. Sweeping around those cans, they've picked up 2, and that is lane 8 out there, so that's Cape Hawke leading the way at the moment.
Yeah, just little mistakes like that can cost you the race in these events because they are so fast. If you slip up once with the starting engine like that, you can't get back.
Well, Cape Hawke coming through. There's no mistakes there from these guys. They've got a full crew at the moment. So Cape Hawke bring it in. Now, stuck there. Oh, the driver's taken a big tumble. That is just deadly in the end. Oh, out of nowhere, Caves Beach have come up and won this thing. Cape Hawke had all the time in the world to do it. They came into some dead water, some waist-deep water, and that was just unfortunate. That's the way the lane was. And Cape Hawke have gone from a certain first to a second. Caves Beach win it, Cape Hawke second, and Ballina in third.
Had our sights set on this race for about 3 years. Our preparation's been great. Our state titles, we won it. We won every race except we had a bit of bad luck at the Australian last year. But this was our goal, and today Cape Beach is the best in the world.
Now let's take a look at the start list for the women's teams. Soldiers Beach, Nobbies, Hunters Beach, TH&C, Gunnermanner, Kiama Downs, Blackhead, North Burleigh, Torquay and Tauraggi. So 9 finalists for the World Rescue 2000 IRB competition. A pretty big field, and they're underway. Again, it's the same principle. They'll take one competitor out, unload her at the cans where another one's waiting for her, and then come back, change drivers, and do it all again. Quite amazing to see in that men's final how Cape Hawke, with a certain victory and a motor behind you, and you can still lose a race, looked as though the problem was they might have cut that motor too early, stopped in all sorts of deep water, and the driver just couldn't get his legs up high enough to get out.
Yeah, it was a bad mistake there, but hopefully the girls won't make the same mistake, and you know, they can get through without any problems. Hopefully they'll get their motor started. We had a bit of difficulty with that happening in the men's event, and we just see the drop off there.
Oh, I tell you what, that's
made a big mistake.
That was Soldiers Beach, and I don't know if they've flipped the boat, but they certainly put the left-hand side of it in. As the competitor got out, I'm pretty sure that they flipped it over, and in fact, I'm also sure that the driver went in as well. The boat was just left there spinning around on its own. Now, coming in, Blackhead come in and go for the change. The driver runs up, does the tag team. The other driver goes back in. The boat should be pointing out towards sea and everything set apart from getting that engine going.
Away they go. They look like they've got a clean start there, not like the other one, so that's definitely going to make an advantage for them to get away clean.
Heading back out now into the whitewash, bouncing over those waves. I'd love to find out what happened to Soldiers, because they certainly made a hell of a mistake going around, and these conditions aren't too tricky. Just too much weight on one side of the boat can spell disaster, and that seems to be what's happened. At the moment though, Blackhead in the middle of the course are doing it quite comfortably. This is the crucial part. Pick up the 2 patients, get them into the boat as quickly and as safely as you can. Now bring it all back, and the difference here is that you've got so much more weight in the boat.
You've got to get the competitors down low in the boat so the driver can get his vision still, and also the crewman has to control that nose from lifting up and down over these waves. And here we go to see it finish, and you watch how they just shut the engine down and then run up the beach.
Side-by-side finish in the two lanes. Blackhead coming up on the right-hand side of screen. Wheeled on by the fellow competitors, and Blackhead have done it. Next to them, it was Kiama Downs. Probably in the end, they got him by about 5 or 10 metres. Kiama Downs in second, and North Burleigh finished third. The official placings, there it is, 1, 2, 3 for the women's IRB team rescue race. All sorts of dramas. Blackhead, Kiama Downs and North Burleigh.
Very happy. It is 1 for 1 to end the carnival, and we have our trainer Mark Fisher to thank for that, because he's put a lot of time into training us all.
And we can check some of the other IRB events for you. The results, the IRB rescue race won by Taraji for the men's. In the women's, Torquay took out that one. The men's IRB rescue tube race won by Metropolitan Caloundra. And the women's IRB rescue tube race taken out by Soldiers Beach. This is Rescue 2000 at Manly Beach. Stay with us after the break. The big ones, the Iron Women and Iron Men finals are coming up. Back to Rescue 2000. Plenty of action here at Manly Beach and plenty of celebrations as well. Take a look at Jonathan Crowe, a victor here at the World Championships, and doesn't he enjoy it as we get ready to get into some more action. The Iron Women final, and here are our competitors. Keep your eyes out for a couple of them. Lily Miller, of course, from North Wollongong. Christy Munro, also Kirsty Holmes. Carla Gilbert, one to watch. Denby Stokes as well. Only one international competitor has made the final from Pirates in South Africa. That was Jenna Warlock. So they're in the starters' hands now. We'll start with the ski leg. Then it will be swim. Finish it off with the board. We're underway in the Iron Women final of the World Championships. Very flat conditions, so it's going to be hard work all the way out and all the way back.
It certainly will be, Maddie. That's the most important thing of starting with the ski, is to get a good start and get out there in front, and that's what Christy Munro's done on the front of our screen here, and also Cassandra Sedgman on the far right. You can see she's right out there too.
So the red ski, that's Christy Munro from Alexander Headlands. She is leading him out on the left-hand side of the field. Not too much to consider with the conditions. They aren't going to get bashed around by the waves on their way out, so it's really head down and hard work the whole way out. Keep your eyes on Munro. There she is. Take a look at the form. Nice start, nice stroke as well.
That's right, Maddie. She's just done exceptionally well. This is the first year for her being on a ski, and for her to be out there in front at this stage of the race, it really shows that she's got some good power behind her at such an early stage in her career.
Of course, don't expect to see probably the names like Carla Gilbert up there in the ski league. It's something new for the girls. Carla is one who doesn't do a lot of work on the ski leg, so we wouldn't really be expecting to see her up in this leg, would we?
No, that's right. You'll see the race might change slightly, but definitely Carla will be up there in the finish. She really works hard on her swim and board legs, and but I tell you what, Christy Munro has built up quite a bit of a lead. If she gets a little bit of a runner, she'll be hard to catch from here.
Well, gets a little bit of a runner at this moment. She looks as though she's paddling on Manly Lake, not Manly Beach, because it's glassy conditions. The rest of the competitors come round. Munro is looking good out the front, though. And here's the chasing pack. Some talented Iron Women in there. Now Munro.
Let's look at her technique. She's got good reach. She's twisting quite well. It's really good. She's going really well. Behind her is Cassandra Sedgman. You would expect that by now Cassandra might start to catch her a little bit with her experience of ski paddling. But the field is sort of bunching up a little bit now, but here she is on a runner now. You can see him coming into the wave zone, and I use that term very loosely too, because there's not much assistance coming on the way back in. Now it's time to take a bit of a breather. She keeps the rating going though, because this little wave is going to curl up behind her. It's important for her to keep the ski out in front of it. Christy Munro's done a fantastic job here and got a tiny little break, probably around about an extra 5 metres or so from Cassandra Sedgman. She's picked up that runner. She's relaxed, and the most important thing that she has done is kept paddling. No matter how small the wave is at that, when you're just starting out on the ski, it's important to keep paddling, and she's done a great job. Fair amount of dead water there too as the competitors come in. They'll feel that in the swim leg, which is coming up right now. So Munro comes along and hits the beach. It's a damp old day in Sydney, but she won't be worried about the weather, because she's just worried about the World Championship gold medal. Munro goes in. Here comes the rest of the pack. Now, I saw Kirsty Holmes in there. Also, that was Lily Miller just went around. Christy Lou, that's Holmes out in front. Yeah, we can see Denby coming around, Lily Miller coming around, Crystal Smith. So there's quite a few good swimmers just behind her there. You can see here there's a bit of a bank, so they're having to wade quite a little bit out, and then they'll do a few duck dives, and as you can see, they've started swimming now. Let's see if they can chase her down.
Once again, there is not much in the way of assistance for these girls, so they're going to have to basically compete and complete every single millimetre of this course, unless, of course, the tides change and the heavens open up and we get ourselves a nice swell in the next couple of minutes. It's not going to happen, girls. They're going to have to do it the hard way. Munro nice and close as she goes around that can. The rest of the competitors coming in. Interesting to see if Carla Gilbert has made any sort of move. Well, there's one. That's Cassandra Sedgman. She's from the Surfers Paradise Club. Lily Miller sneaking in just behind her. And that's Kirsty Holmes just coming through there as well. So there's plenty of pace on at the front of the field. Now the chasing pack comes through somewhere in there. Must be Carla Gilbert. Well, there's about 2 or 3 packs just behind Kirsty Munro. So I'd say Carla Gilbert probably around top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, she'd be up there. I'd say she'd be around the 7th mark, but she'll make a big move on the back here. It really will come down to, in the end of the race, who is the fittest and who has done the work and who's got the most energy at the end of the day. But as you can see, these packs are forming. They're working together. They're working off each other. Poor Chrissy's out on her own.
And who's the fastest up the beach as well? So Munro gets up and she starts porpoising on, just on the way through. Can she get this wave? Let's see if she can get it. Well, it's not even a wave. She won't get that. And as I said to you before, there's plenty of hard work to do all the way in because no help coming through. So there's around about 8 or 9 girls coming in right behind Munro right now.
Munro this isn't really her strong leg, so she's done really well to stay out there in front. But look who we've got now. Lily rode that perfectly. What a good surf skills from Lily Miller.
Just fell off the back of the wave. So Christy Munro still out in front. She's been doing it from the word go. Lily Miller's been trying to make a charge. The rest of the girls need a wave to come in and catch her. Porpoising once again. Looking around to see if there's any help behind her. There won't be, so she's going to have to get up and start running shortly.
The fortunate thing with Christy Munro is she comes from a running background, so the changeover side of the race doesn't really tire her out. So when she gets back in the water, she still feels really fresh.
Transition time. Oh, she's taken a fall. Munro taking a fall. Thankfully, she had a good 10 or 15 metre lead anyway. So, just as we were talking about running technique, a little ditch in the water got her just by the ankles and set her down. Now it's time to breathe it in. You can see the pain on her face as she goes down, grabs the board. Now here comes the chasing pack. Gilbert's there. Carla Gilbert has made a move. She's around about 5th or 6th at the moment.
Denby Stokes is there. Here we see Crystal Smith, Kirsty Holmes. She's just currently the national champion. Here comes Carla. Let's see what happens now.
Well, if you're a betting person and you've got Carla Gilbert coming behind you on the board, Darren Mercer, what would you do?
I'd put my head down and keep paddling because she's definitely one of the top paddlers in the field, and you can see there another great example of her technique. Christy's just really powered on her craft this year. She's done really well.
Christy Munro is having a terrific race, and it's always a question of is it harder to lead out the front or is it harder to chase someone down? And really you've got to change your race strategy as to where you end up during the race. But she's done this from the very beginning of this race. She's been out in front. She's had no one in front of her the whole way, and that's how she'll want to keep it. This is the final leg, the board leg. The World Rescue Championships and a gold medal up for grabs in the Iron Woman final. Munro goes around. Let's see who's behind her. That's Lily Miller. So Miller in second already.
That's right, here comes Carla too, but I think the important thing that these girls will be thinking right now, they'll have their head down and they'll just be focusing on the person in front and trying to draw them in as close as they can.
Still conditions, as I mentioned, they're just flat as a tack out there and so hard. The legs must be burning, the arms would be burning after a ski leg and a swim leg, and now you've got to do this kind of hard work. Terrific form again. Gee, she's good on the craft, isn't she?
She certainly is, and she's got herself in a position there now. She's first into the break area, and hopefully she can pick something up. And now look at this, here come 2 competitors from behind.
Carla Gilbert has got the runner and shot straight past them. A tiny little wave, and she managed to pull it in. She pulls up alongside Munro. Oh, this is going to be a crackerjack finish. Lily Miller is closest to us. Christy Munro stuck in the middle now, and Carla Gilbert on her left. I mentioned to you that Munro did it solo from the word go. Now she's got someone in front of her, someone beside her. Miller's up running.
It's going to come down to who's got the legs. Who has it? It looks like Lily.
Well, Lily's certainly got the legs. She's a tall girl. She's powering along the beach. Munro's been shaken off. Now Gilbert.
Look at this.
Look at Carla Gilbert. The legs are flying.
Dive just there.
Big finish, and Carla Gilbert gets it. Unbelievable. Carla Gilbert beats home Lily Miller, and Christy Munro from Alexandra Headlands has finished in third after leading this race for the entire way from start to finish. But Carla Gilbert is our champion.
But Maddie, you have to feel sorry for Christy Munro. She did lead the whole way. Her legs must have just gave in at the end, and I think 10 metres from the line, so did Lily Miller. Yeah,
what about Carla Gilbert's sprint finish, though? One of the more remarkable finishes we'll ever see. And at the end of it, she collected the gold medal at the World Rescue 2000 Championships. Gilbert first from Surfers Paradise. Lily Miller gets the silver, and Christy Munro from Alexandra Headlands collects the bronze. Poor old Carla Gilbert overcame her weakest leg to do it.
Well, definitely not my ski paddling. I mean, I was really behind the 8 ball before I started. It was like giving the girls a 20-metre lead. So I just swam as hard as I could and then board paddle as hard as I could. Wasn't really listening to my body. I've been really tired the last couple of days from all the racing, but I still can't believe I did it.
This is Rescue 2000. After the break, we'll be back at Manly Beach with the Ironman final. Getting ready for more action at Rescue 2000, the World Life-Saving Championships here at Manly Beach. And we're getting ready for a start in the Ironman final. This is the big one. Let's take a look at our start list. We will start with 14 competitors and some of the names to look out for. Stephen Pullen, of course, from Alexandra Headlands. Phil Clayton, Zane Holmes, Joshua Blair, Nathan Meyer, a dual world champion, and Dean Mercer as well from Maroochydore. Joining me in commentary, Dean's brother Darren, as we get ready for the start. And it's a ski leg to begin with. Taking a look across the competitors now. Once again, Darren, not a lot of help as far as what the ocean's giving these guys.
No, that's right. It'll be a pretty even start here, which is probably what most of them would like. And, you know, it'll just be down to the guts coming home with those skis.
So we're underway. Pretty tricky conditions, though, as we look out to sea now. You can see, you know, the swell sort of coming in at a few different angles there, right where they're starting.
It is. It's sort of just a little bit of bank out there just inside the swim cans, and then a bit of a gutter. So most of the guys will be really wanting to get out and get an early lead and get clean and not get caught around the cans on this ski leg.
You can see them now trying to go up towards single file. Just one of the competitors broken off towards the left-hand side there. Smash goes through the first wave. Wow, it didn't look as though it had anything behind it, but it certainly slowed them down.
It certainly did. I think they got it just as it was about to break, so that really did slow them down. It looks like Downey Langthorne from North Curl, so he's out in front at the moment, and then there's Jeremy Cotter from Queenscliff behind him.
Jeremy Cotter from Queenscliff, one of those competitors who we've kept an eye on over the past couple of years, and as he grows, as he gets older, you see his size getting along. Also, Wes Berg, also a competitor here in this final. You can just really see the change, and you must have experienced that as well. Once your body starts growing, you get the power in the ski leg, and all things start to change for you, don't they?
It does. I mean, the ski leg's probably the hardest one to get, you know, master, and once you get that strength, that's part of the whole thing.
A little bit of tricky stuff. We just saw Nathan Meyer lean back there to get his balance coming around. So Downey Langthorne from North Curl out in front at the moment. He looks as though he's a little fella as well, putting in a lot of work, a lot of twisting in the abdomen.
Yeah, he's a very tall and lanky sort of a competitor. There's Dean Mercer coming up on the inside there of Zane Holmes. So those two guys had some great tussles this year during the season as well. But there they are, they're out in front, Jeremy Cotter and Downey Langthorne. You can see him stretching out there. He's very long and thin sort of build.
There is a class field here. You mentioned Zane Holmes and Dean. Some crackerjack battles throughout the year. Zane Holmes' form has been quite sensational.
He has. I mean, he's just starting to sort of come into his own now. As you're saying, he's getting his strength now. He's maturing a lot more, and the craft is sort of really coming along, and he's swimming really well too. So, you know, he's just had a great year.
Jeremy Cotter on the left of screen there. Downey Langthorne on the right. Those two have got the first little runner all the way through. Cotter just taking time now to relax. Keep his ski out in front of this, and just in case it decides to double up in the unlikely event in these conditions that it doubles up and does anything stupid to his ski.
Well, I think they just had to keep out in front of that there because they could see the other competitors coming through on just those small runners that are there today. There's not much surf really.
Well, that was pretty tricky there for Jeremy Cotter. Took a little bit of fall off his ski. You might have seen also that Christy Munro had a few troubles coming in just in that area. Look at him gritting his teeth now. Cotter leads him through. Langthorne, look at the size of this bloke. Wraps around and goes in for the swim leg, all putting their goggles on. The other guys coming through. Steve Pullen making his move. On the outside there, that was Nathan Meyer. So, Dean Mercer goes through. Nathan Meyer's made some good room in that transition area there. And Phil Clayton right down, what, second last already?
Second last, and he'd want to be way up ahead of that. That's not a very good spot for him at the moment, but hopefully he'll come through.
But Darren, his best leg is the swim, so he might pull up a few places there and he might be in the running.
He definitely will. I mean, and he's been paddling the board well this year. He won the Australian Championships, as everyone could see, and, he's got his best legs ahead of him anyway, so let's see what he can do from here.
But I think someone to look out for might be Steve Pullen. He's sort of lurking just in about 4th or 5th at the moment. This is his best leg also, so let's see where he turns up.
That's right, there was Downey Langthorne still out in front around those cans there. Zane Holmes and Dean Mercer just tucked in behind him again, so they're having a ding-dong battle in this one.
So they go around the cans now, so round about halfway through the swim leg. And really tricky conditions, as we said before. Jeremy Cotter and Langthorne out in front doing all the hard work. Around about, 6 or 7 metres is the difference at the moment. But coming back into the wave zone, absolutely anything can change and everything will change. It's guaranteed. We'll keep our eyes on Phil Clayton to come out of this swim leg because he is a sensational swimmer. No question about it. Probably one of the strongest swimmers in this field anyway. And we'll see how he comes up. Look how much waiting they've got to do if they want to. Just porpoising through because there's still a fair way out.
There's still a fair way out, but that sandbank was sort of causing a lot of upsets. And here we go. Here comes a wave for the competitors from behind. Look at this. Everyone's on this one, and I think it'll just drop them off in the gutter. But there's some upsets here for sure.
Well, there was around about 14 competitors, and that's how many we started with. So, Jeremy Cotter still swimming, and you're right, Darren, they dropped it off in the gutter there. So Cotter still out swimming in front, and who's that on his left?
That's Phil Clayton on the far side there. So he's definitely came through on that wave and made up some ground there. So he's in a good position now to jump on the board. Jeremy Cotter's still in front though.
You wouldn't think, though, in this field that he could pull up that quickly. He must have taken a better line out in the swim course or something, because that's a phenomenal swim to come from second last to right up to third.
Yeah, it seemed to be the front competitors had to wait for that wave, so maybe he did come down to the south and pick that wave up, but definitely some great surfing skills there by Phil Clayton.
And I guess if there's one specialty that Plato has, it's pulling people back in a swim leg from second last down to first. You see Jeremy Cotter there. Now that's Steve Pullen coming through, and he is going at max speed as well as he picks up the board. Clayton and Pullen gets smashed by that wave, goes straight through it, no problems. Plato's really got a sniff of this now, and they go onto the left-hand side there, and Jeremy Cotter's headed off to the right, and he purposely did that. That's where his board was anyway, so now you'll see him drift back over.
Yeah, they'll come back together here now and probably work off maybe Stephen by the look of things and just have a bit of a break and see what's happening, and then they'll have to go for it because there's no assistance on the way back and you don't want to be sort of getting caught up with the rest of the pack.
Yeah, well, I train with Steve Pullen, and I know he would want this race really badly. He's doing a good job out in front at the moment. He's a little bit disappointed with his season, but I don't think he should be. But he's up there at the moment, and this is what counts. It's the world title at stake here. Look, here comes Phil Clayton.
Yeah, look out, all right. Is the big time. Phil Clayton is putting in the big moves. He must have known that once he got through on that swim leg, he must have just thought, right, go for broke. I'm back in this race, go for broke, and that's what he's doing. He's
popped his head up after that swim and said, I'm in chance here of winning a world title, and he's definitely done that. Stephen Pullen's got a bit of tangle on the rope there, but Phil Clayton definitely, he just put the pedal down and he's away. He's going to go for it from here. There's Zane Holmes again and Dean Mercer. That's Wes Burke, who's a great board paddler, so he should come through quite well here as well. And I think I saw Josh Blair just kneeling up there in the front of that red board, so he's up there with the front pack as well.
What do you think, Darren? I mean, board paddling, when it's flat like that, do you think it really comes down to a weight to power ratio? Do you think that's why Phil Clayton really skipped ahead there? I think, here he goes here on a runner. You watch this, I mean, he's one of the best wave riders, best surfers around at the moment, and he's just teetering on the top of this one, and if he's down the front of that now, so he just showed how he can make a little wave
make the difference in a race. That's fantastic.
Well, he turned a tiny little wave into probably around about a 15 or 20 metre break on Steve Pullen. And as you said, Darren, he really knew that he had to keep going for that one. He put in the ratings, put in the hard work. He hasn't stopped since he got out of that water in the swim leg and realised that, look at him, he's got his hands in the air already.
He knows he's got it now, I think, but that wave didn't even break, and he rode that right to the shore, so that's a fantastic effort by Phil Clayton.
A fair old handler he's got for him there too. Trevor Hendy gives him a high five on the way through, and Clado is loving every minute of this. He loves to race with a smile on his face, and he loves it when he wins as well. Well, he's done it here. The World Championship, the Ironman World Championship goes to Phil Clayton. Expect a party tonight, folks. Second and third, Steve Pullen and Joshua Blair. Oh, Pullen's probably got him, but only by a hair on the chest. So Steve Pullen will get second place. Joshua Blair gets third, and Phil Clayton gets a congratulatory hug from his good mate Jonathan Crowe down there at North Wollongong. And these are the official placings. Clayton from Surfers Paradise, pretty much a last to first effort. He gets the gold medal. Steve Pullen from Alexandra Headlands in a tight finish over Joshua Blair from Swansea Belmont.
Yeah, I was lucky. I've had a few good board paddles over the weekend, and going into that last lead with the board there, I was pretty confident, but with the guys that I was racing, they're all champions, and I was just lucky enough to get it up on the day.
Phil Clayton, the winner of the Ironman final here at Rescue 2000. Stick around, we'll return to Manly Beach in just a minute. Welcome back to Rescue 2000. This is Manly Beach, some of the finest lifesavers in the world doing their thing out here today. And as we get ready for our next event, the Women's Taplin Relay Race, talk about teams where you're going to see some of the best in the country and in the world. And they're already underway, starting, of course, with the ski league. Some of the teams to look out for: Maroubra, Mooloolaba and Cronulla.
Yeah, I think so, and Surfers Paradise will definitely have a good team in there as well.
So the pace is on out in front, and once again, the conditions aren't that great as far as getting any help in, but the girls charging through now.
That's Natalie Rayner out in front from Northcliffe. She actually almost won the Aussie, so they're already up there. There's Kawana Waters, Maroubra and Mooloolaba there.
Pretty tight, so at the moment there is 4 teams within a centimetre or so of each other by the time they tap on here. So, next into the water, and the next competitor's going for the swim leg.
Yeah, Belinda Gladstone's really made a break here. She's really well out in front. She won the Aussie title at Kurrawa just 2 weeks ago, so she's swimming really well.
Certainly an impressive competitor. This is probably her marquee year, isn't it? Her marquee season. She's really picked up a level, Belinda Gladstone, but the other competitors came through behind her and put a lot of pressure on her. Cronulla in there and Mooloolaba as well.
Yep, that's Kate McClellan from Cronulla. That was actually good surf skills from her, and that's made a difference. She's running up the beach in front of Mooloolaba and Maroubra now. Looks like Cronulla could be in the winning.
Yeah, Cronulla have definitely got a great team there. Kate McClellan swum really well this year. The Mooloolaba competitor, Sarah, she's just making her tag, and the rest of the competitors coming through now from Maroubra.
Only 2 things left to do. Go out and do the board and then tap on to the beach sprinter at the end. And Cronulla out in front, head down. And lots of hard work still ahead. Oh, right on the hammer though, Mooloolaba coming through. So that was as they turned the cans. And this was the defining moment of the Women's Taplin Relay Race. Cronulla breaking away just as they come back into shore. And Mooloolaba shake it off. So look at the smile on the face already. It's all over to Brandy Elliott now from Cronulla. That is the final job to do, and the gold medal is safe and in the keeping for Cronulla. Really no need to sprint in the end because they've got such a big lead, but she wants to, so they get the gold medal. There you go, Cronulla have won it. Interesting to see what happened for second and third. Mooloolaba and Maroubra finished it off. So the Women's Taplin Relay Race, Cronulla get the gold. A great performance breaking away in the end there. Mooloolaba from Queensland gets silver. And third, the bronze medal goes to Maroubra. Well, it is a team event and it's all about team success.
It's great to do it with the whole team because, well, I mean, we've been together, we won the state titles. And, yeah, it's just great to win as a team.
So New South Wales team gets the gold medal for the Women's Taplin. Now it's time for the men underway. A little bit tricky for the starter there to try and get them all in a straight line. And somehow he managed to do quite a good job, but they're underway now. Some teams to look out for, Darren.
Definitely, you know, the stronger teams there will be Surfers Paradise. You've got the South African team there in the red hat just going past. That's Durban. So, you know, there's some great competitors in this one.
charging back into the beach at the moment on the ski leg, the first leg. Look at those paddles, not yet in synchronisation, but doing a pretty good job now. They've all tapped off. Let's see who's come out first.
Tony Shoemaker from the Lura Club has come out first, and he's going to get his team away to a good swim leg here. Looks like North Fifth just tagging behind them. We can get to see them in a second. But definitely Allura off first in this next leg, swim leg.
A little bit difficult there too. You saw the Allura competitor charging in. A little bit of a shore break sucking up in front of him. Had to wade out as far as he could. So some defining moments we constantly look for in these races, and they can come at any particular time. Going around the cans, looks as though Surfers Paradise had made a move up there.
Yeah, there was Maroochydore hat there. That would have been Jason O'Prey, the swim leg. And I think that maybe Phil Clayton there, just surfing that. See how he surfed that across to get into the bigger part of the wave? Definitely he'll ride it further than the other competitor. And there it goes there. Look at that. Straight past Sean Davis, and he'll ride this one right to the end.
Just sucked up for him, but Clayton did manage to do it. And that's Davis behind him. So Surfers Paradise in first position at the moment, tags off to Trevor Hendy.
Now I think this bloke knows how to paddle a board. I don't know about you, but you know, he's been around for a long time, a great competitor, and he'll definitely put in some big ones for his team in this one with the Surfers Paradise team.
Of course, Trevor retired from official competition last season, but did make a return at the national titles. Had a great battle on the board with Phil Clayton there at the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships, and now it's another great battle in the men's Taplin relay race. Trev just trying to work that wave, and it looks as though he's got it. He has. So Surfers Paradise, he still needs to do some hard work in this whitewater here. Surfers Paradise have made a move. They've got their break. He taps along and puts his fist in the air as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone can get this beach sprinter from there, but Trevor, great paddle here. You can see he just pulled over that little runner there, and like Phil Clayton, the Ironman, it's just that work all the way to the end. You can't stop.
Well, they did it all right. Surfers Paradise in first position. Trevor Hendy and Phil Clayton are having a wonderful World Championship. Swansea Belmont gets second, and Maroubra from New South Wales get the bronze. But the Surfers Paradise team have had a lot of fun today.
We love our Taplin relays. The club's a really big club team, and to win both Ironman and Woman and then come out and win the Taplin relay, we're stoked. And to have Ryan in here as well, have our beach guy, it's just amazing.
Well, in fact, it's been an amazing couple of weeks at Rescue 2000. These are the overall standings for the Interclub Championships. Maroochydore from Australia are the champions. DLRG from Germany, second overall. And Alcarino di Salvamento in Spain finished third overall after a couple of great weeks of competition. Down at the beach, in at the pool, fantastic stuff. Maroochydore, DLRG, our friends from Germany, and of course the Spanish. The sun didn't shine for the entire 2 weeks, but we had plenty of fun down here at Manly Beach for Rescue 2000. Our thanks to Darren and Kerry for talking us through all of our competition. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Matthew White. Bye for now.